Happy Monday. I have a really crackly voice because it's early and I kind of just got out of bed. But um, what I want to go over with you guys today is your assignment for this week. You chose your partner or partners, and I have since sent out your collaborative Google document to you on Google Classroom. So you and your partner or partners are the only people who can collaborate on an assignment at this moment. So it's your document. So you're going to do annotations and a rhetorical analysis essay for a passage from 1911. I've uploaded some YouTube videos and like podcast recommendations for background information. But before we get into that, the way that I want to structure today is I want to go over some examples of kind of these like five main areas of focus for your rhetorical analysis. So I want to go over some examples from the Donovan Livingston piece from you guys so that you can have ideas for this assignment. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is thesis statements. So I'm going to show you some excellent thesis statements that that worked for Donovan Livingston. Pretty much. And then next up is organization. Again, I'm pretty proud of our organization skills. I think for the most part, just like the thesis statements, we really have it down. I'm going to put up a few names of people who I feel like could do organization in their sleep. Um, they like are mumbling assertion, evidence, commentary, concluding statement in their sleep. So I'm really proud of you. How to make sure you're answering the why. So we're pretty much all of us are adept at answering how is this writer using this or speaker, how is this person using this rhetorical strategy? And that's just showing the evidence. So why are they using that? That's the second key step to make sure that you are in the 3 and the 4 range for your evidence and commentary. So I'm going to put up some examples of phrases that people have used that I made a comment, and a lot of you will see this. Like, if you use these sorts of transitional phrases after your evidence, you will always ensure that you're answering the why. So here are a couple good examples. And then tied into answering these signal phrases to answer the why is what is the exigence. That's the real why is he saying this to this audience at this time? And I think the tricky thing, again, with Donovan Livingston is that some of you misread and kind of talked about how he's talking about how the students should feel inspired, but forgetting that like his direct audience at that time is these educators on the precipice of their careers who are graduating, with graduate degrees from Harvard, and they are about to like start their journey as educators. So we've got I'm gonna probably embarrass her, but this is Zoila is so good at getting the exigence for every single assertion that she makes. So here are 3 of her wonderful examples from her essay. And then the final thing that I want to talk about is something that can help you on your way to that sophistication point, which is placing your passage in the broader context of history. So a couple examples. There were like two of you, I want to say like maybe Sophie and Stephanie, who I might be totally wrong, but I think maybe Sophie and Stephanie were talking about how like now on YouTube, Donovan Livingston's piece has however many million views or whatever it is. And I think that's, they talked about like the secondary audience, the fact that like, yes, he was speaking to this group, but then in their conclusion, they were able to bring it into this idea that like, now there is a secondary audience that he's able to speak to without even like intending to speak to. So that was an interesting thing that I think is interesting to think about, is your, whoever that secondary audience is, if they exist. And then even though he listens to videos with the sound on in public, I'm going to call out Sam, your boy, because I would say he did one of the best jobs of placing our passage in the greater context. So in his intro, he had this really nice, like robust, round intro that talked about kind of like how our country was built on this false hope of the Constitution and the American dream, and how, you know, in 2016, Livingston is continuing this theme of this like false hope or false narrative that we've been told. So I'm going to show you, you know, beyond that, he came back and tied it all back together in his conclusion. So I'm going to show you his final concluding thoughts that I thought did a good job of not only connecting all the different threads that he discussed in his speech, but also connecting it back to that larger context of like, why do we care about this in history? This is, you know, beyond just this piece existing in a bubble. What does this mean for us? What else is new? Snack check. I'm having hummus and little baby naans. And then some water with lemon. And I just started this today by the pool. It's Saturday right now. And it's just like a World War II fiction, but that's like my favorite to read in the summer or when I have free time. So I'm enjoying it so far. I'm like 4 chapters in. Show me if you're reading anything. Show me if you're eating anything. And enjoy.